Hello, welcome to today's episode of the 12 Myths of Christmas. The website Snopes.com invented a word, the word glurge. And glurge, they say, is one of those stories that goes around the internet that's designed to make you feel good. It may or may not be true, usually is not true, but it tells an inspiring story or something like that. For example, the story of all of the supposed failures that Abraham Lincoln had before he was elected president. That qualifies as a glurge. Well, today's myth also falls under that category of glurge, and that's the legend of the candy cane. Every Christmas, there's usually someone who passes out candy canes with little cards attached to them, and on this card, you'll see this story about how all of the properties of a candy cane have some type of Christian symbolism. That is, the candy cane is shaped like a letter J for Jesus, or it's shaped like a shepherd's staff to represent Jesus being the good shepherd. The candy cane is white to represent purity, but it has red stripes on it to show that Jesus' blood is what gives us that purity. And that's all good story. I mean, there's nothing, wrong with, any of those descriptions. There's nothing wrong with using a candy cane to help tell about Jesus. But unfortunately, the story that the candy cane was deliberately made that way is unfortunately not true. One of the ways you can tell that this story is not true is because how the candy cane came about, according to the legend, depends on who's telling the legend. There's one version that goes around that says it was invented by a candy maker in Indiana. There's another legend that says the early Christians in Europe designed the candy cane that way. There's another legend that says it was a choir master in 1670 Germany. So there's, the details just don't match up. There's no one definitive version of the story, and that's one way that you can normally tell that a legend is not true. What we do know about candy canes is that they've only been around, that is the J-shaped candy cane with, one end curved on it, have only been around for about 150 years. But before they were made that way, long before they were made that way, they were already making straight sticks of candy with the red stripes around it. So in other words, the straight red stripes came long before the J shape did, so they couldn't have been invented by the same person. And also, candy canes themselves have not been used as symbols of Christmas, really, until about the 20th century. So it wasn't until the 1900s that candy canes became a traditional Christmas treat. So the truth is that the modern candy cane actually evolved from other types of candies and took a long while to develop. It was not invented by one single person, and it's only recently been associated with Christmas. And all the Christian symbolism that is linked to it is entirely made up. Now, again, that does not mean you can't use that to help tell somebody about Jesus, but we don't need to be going around saying that this was deliberately invented that way, because that is patently not true. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another myth about Christmas.